Hello and welcome to Stugan, episode 7. This week we're talking about the lucky indie myth. That is, the idea that in games development circles, luck is such a key factor to a game's success.
Which Angry Birds is that? That's the new one. Did you know that Rovio made 51 games before they made the first Angry Birds?
Yeah, I did know that.
God, I wish my game was as successful as Minecraft.
Minecraft was a fluke!
But as online stores become more and more crowded, is being lucky still enough anymore? And more importantly, does the lucky indie still even exist? We caught up with our developers to find out. The advice that's often given is, just make a good game. Do you think that that still resonates?
Well, it depends on what your definition of good is. I mean, a lot of games are really good, but they're ahead of their time, so there isn't enough understanding of the game for it to be widespread.
So yeah, making a good game is of course a very, very solid advice, but also think about all the other aspects. There are a lot of things you can do to sort of amplify your luck, and it's usually sort of having good contacts with YouTubers and media and all of that might make that sort of luck factor explode in a viral hit.
So how much success did your first game have, and how much did you court that success?
Right, so I mean, I guess it's quite tricky to say how much, but I for the effort I put in, it was definitely very successful. I mean, it's a small mobile game for Android called Two-Player Reactor, and it's kind of a local multiplayer game, and it was one of the first ones on Android. And so I think that was the main reason why it was successful. So I think being at the right place at the right time was definitely the main factor for me.
Like, it seems casual games do quite well, don't they? Kind of ones that get picked up by the masses. And I mean, what were the factors behind Flappy Bird and Minecraft's success?
Well, I would say it's just the viral spread. Some influential people start playing it and tell their friends that you should try this, and it just spreads like wildfire. But if PewDiePie plays whatever game and suddenly that game's get a huge surge in sort of downloads and yeah.
So, Amy, can you think of any indie games or games in general that have made it big seemingly by luck?
Well, I think luck is a part of every game's success, like the time and place that you release it, because a lot of that is dependent on the context in which it's released. If it's total crap, it probably won't succeed, even if you are in the spotlight. People, sometimes questionably okay, I guess, games succeed, but I think that's more a matter of taste, personal taste. But yeah, so I think it's a mixture of luck and just being really smart about what you're producing.
Could the lucky indie myth be quite damaging? Because if we're encouraging indie developers to pursue this luck model, they're actually not creating sustainable business models. No,
definitely. I mean, so it is kind of definitely like a rose-tinted glasses you put on when you see these big names that have made it. And it's kind of a few people only that get this success, while most indie games are kind of just disappear. So it's definitely like a confirmation bias thing. So you see, oh, these are successful games, but you never see the unsuccessful ones. So it's definitely dangerous to kind of go all in and say, I give up all my jobs and just go and make indie games for a living. It is definitely much better, and that's the advice I would give, is to kind of start slow and kind of carefully, like maybe in your spare time, or if you kind of have worked for a while, just you say, okay, I take half a year off because I have savings, and try something, but you should definitely not kind of expect success from the beginning. So this is kind of the outliers. It might happen, but most likely, especially with your first games, it's not very likely.
So I guess the question we've been leading up to is the age of the indie superstar over, or does it still exist?
I don't know. I think we had a little innocence period where we had this first round of people that got pretty prominent, and then there was a lot of drama that resulted from that, and I feel like, I don't know, maybe the indie scene is afraid of having personalities.
Yeah, I think also now that indies are kind of in this transition phase from kind of the like soul fighters to kind of a bit more established art form.
I think that as long as people are doing it well, we'll still see people rising to fame from doing a really good job at what they're doing.
So essentially, we're not going to see indie superstars for the sake of luck and hitting it big, but for how good their craft is, kind of rolling in that way.
We can hope.
Yeah.
I like the sound of this future.
Perhaps a bit naive, but I'll go with it.
Well, fingers crossed for that. I hope so. That sounds like a good way to have an indie community in the future. That's it from us here. If you guys think that there's a certain secret sauce you can sprinkle on your game to make it super lucky, let us know in the comment section below. But if not, we'll see you next week. Bye. Bye.